up the gate, and everybody else just let him go.
There are 5 sub-4-minute milers in this race, Lewis, and they all should have run more aggressively than they should, other than Pyra. The elevation is 4,500 feet here, and it should have only affected them probably for the last maybe 30 seconds of the race. Jason Pyra is down with Stacey Pates.
Jason, you have to be feeling so good right now. You came out strong, you finished strong. How you feeling?
Well, that was the plan, to go out and attack the race, and of course being in altitude, being in a place where I've run many times, having gone to Brigham Young, it's great to come back up here and have a great crowd and go out and run really strong from the very beginning, and distance myself from the rest of the field.
And you did that pretty early on in the race. Was that your strategy going in?
Not necessarily, but I wanted to go out about 27.5, and that's about what I was, and just hold it strong. Not that if I had run 27.5s, I could be close to the American record, and of course we were only a second off, so hopefully sometime soon we'll get that.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Congratulations.
Thanks,
Jason Pyra, former Brigham Young University star and 354 miler, winds up winning over David Krummenacher and Carl Perrania in third. Up next, the women's 800. 200-meter nicely banked indoor track. Over 30 years this facility has been here, and all of the competitors are ranked in the top 10 in the United States, either at 1,500 meters or at the 800-meter distance. There you see the American record. Susie Hamilton has tied it, and the 2000 best in the world is 158 plus, set in Europe a week ago. And there's a woman who has the capability here of running under 2 minutes on this track.
Well, you're looking at a lady who has her sole focus in 2000 and winning the gold medal in Sydney at 1,500 meters.
Regina Jacobs now 36. Hazel Clark, this woman just 22, the younger sister of Joetta Clark Diggs, and has had an outstanding collegiate career, indoor and outdoor NCAA champion, will be beside her in lane 4.
And she's early in her professional career, and before the meet, Larry, she was trying to find out how many laps this race was going to be on this indoor track. Just 22 years of age.
From the inside, Michelle Ave will occupy lane 2. Regina's in 3 right there. Regina Jacobs. Hazel Clark is in 4. Debbie Grant is in 5. And on the outside will be Stephanie Best in lane 6. And outside of her, Maisha Marzell, former star from Georgetown. There you see the athletes as they are in the race, competing. A solid field.
Well, Regina Jacobs pulled out of last week's Golden Spike meet in Fayetteville after she came down with a cold. But she is in phenomenal shape, and if you ever have time to talk with Regina, she has a personality that's bubbling, it's exciting, she's confident, and she has an exact plan of what she wants to do in 2000. Coming to a meet like this is part of that plan.
She also told me, Lewis, that she's had a great 10 days of training despite the cold. On the inside is Stephanie Best, better known as a miler. She was originally slated to be on the outside. That is Best on the inside. Will set the lanes for you. And there you see Regina trying to take the lead as Debbie Grant started to move up to do that. And she just said, no, not on my turf. And it is Regina powering down the straightaway. 4 laps in the race. Grant in second place. And you see in third is Hazel Clark, and Maisha Marzell right now in the green lime top is in 4th.
Well, not surprised about the tactics of Regina Jacobs. She wants to get out and control the tempo of the race. She knows exactly the splits that she wants to run, works it out with her husband and coach Tom Craig. And she wants to make sure that she is in control.
And it continues as they approach the first 400 meters of the race. Maisha Marzell right now in 4th, and the field is Jacobs in 1st, Grant in 2nd, Maisha Marzell in 3rd, Michelle Ave in 4th.
And somewhere along the way, we've lost Hazel Clark. She fell off of the track on the backstretch. We'll have to find out what happened to her.
The split 59-1. I didn't see her actually go down, but you're right. She is out of the race. That's an important drop at this point. 59-1, and it looks like Regina Jacobs making a definitive move here to try and get under 2 minutes so far this year. Her lifetime best indoors, 2:01.
Well, look at her now. She's beginning to open up the gate. Look at the arm pump and how it matches her legs as she drives her knees up, making her way around these curves.
1 minute 30 seconds on the nose for her 600-meter time.
Now Regina Jacobs digging in on the backstretch, Larry. Everyone else is tying up. Maybe it's the altitude, but Regina Jacobs showing the phenomenal condition that she's in this 2000 season.
It is Jacobs with about 50 meters to go, glancing up at the scoreboard. 40 meters to go as she has opened up about 20 meters on the rest of this field. Regina Jacobs, unofficially, 2 minutes 1 second. Maisha Marzell winds up second. Debbie Grant third, and Michelle Ave in fourth.
Well, for Regina, it's important to come and dominate wherever she goes, because when she gets through the Olympic trials, if she's successful there, gets on the world stage at the Olympic Games, it's going to be very tough and difficult with some of the other athletes from around the world.
That's a good point, Lewis, and it makes for being very fit and running an extraordinary pace here. Now, in third place, there is Hazel Clark that you see. And taking the lead and controlling the race on that back turn, this is about 150 meters into the race, was Regina Jacobs, 36 years young. Man, when you get close to 40 and somebody says you're getting better, ask for a second opinion. And this woman would defy what I just described. Look at her pull away from the rest of the field and nail a finish in just outside of 2 minutes and 1 second. Regina is down with Stacy Pates. Let's go visit her now.
Regina, wow, you really turned it on there toward the end. I noticed you looking up at the scoreboard. You had a little smile on your face. Are you pleased with your performance?
I'm pleased with it. There was an outside chance that I'd break the American record. The track is fast, but it didn't come today, so tomorrow.
Is there anything particular that stands out in your mind about the race you just ran?
It was a really good, hard effort. I've been training hard, and I thought it was a competitive race. Everyone was right there. And I love competing in arenas like this where the high school athletes are also running.
Absolutely, and you are definitely inspirational. We love seeing the athletes that have a big smile on their face. Guys?
Here are the results of the women's 800. Debbie Grant nailed down third. Maisha Marzell was second, and Regina Jacobs showed everybody why she's ranked third in the world at 1,500 meters and is a top 800-meter runner by pulling away on the last lap. Coming up next, the men's 400 meters on the track. We do have a late scratch. Joe Woody was scheduled to be here, and the man from Cedar Falls, Iowa, is putting on his own race next week out there in the sense of a full-blown indoor meet is not here. There you're looking at lane 3. That is Danny McCrae from Los Angeles, part of the HSI John Smith stable.
Right, and a tender knee caused him to pull out at the first of on the stop of the Golden Spike Tour in Fairfax. Says he's fine now. Loves training with Maurice Green, Otto Bolden, and John Drummond out there in Los Angeles.
Atkins also is a late scratch in lane 2. McCrae will be in 3. Milton Campbell will be in 4, the silver medalist at the World Indoor Championships in 1999. And Leonard Bird will be in lane 5.
Larry, this thing happens quick. Guys will take out and stay in their lanes, and once they get back around almost one lap of the track, they'll break to the inside. Position is everything in the indoor 400.
Pretty even so far. Milton Campbell pulling out a little bit here. As Lewis said, they will stay in lanes around this turn and then break for the pole. Milton Campbell has a slight lead at this point. He should break first.
Now, Milton Campbell has control of the race, and Leonard Bird now trying to challenge him for it. Danny McCrae is not in it so far, but now Milton Campbell in control.
Unofficially, 21.6 seconds for the first 200 meters. Very fine time. Campbell holding on well. This pace has not let up appreciably. Campbell in first, Bird in second, Danny McCrae in third. And it's Milton Campbell running a superb race so far. This is a quick race. Fabulous time. That is the fastest time unofficially in the world this year. 45 and 83/100ths of a second. Great race by Milton Campbell. I could see the leg turnover really didn't abate much in that second half, Lewis. That was a great race.
Well, as we talked about at the top of the race, Larry, positioning is everything, and you have to get out, break the stagger on everybody else, and once you get to the cones, break to the inside and take that lead, and that's what Milton Campbell did.
Watch on the turn here. He keeps building. You stay in your lanes. You lean a little bit to the left to compensate for the turn itself and the high banking. And you use the turn coming off to throw yourself down that straightaway a bit. It actually helps you accelerate in the first turn. This is his finishing kick, and he ran extremely well. He is back in world team shape here early in the season.
Absolutely.
The fastest time run in the world this year. And Milton Campbell is with Stacy Pates.
First, I have to know, what does that time mean to you?
Well, this season, I've been taking it kind of easy. More so looking for long terms, so I was trying to hold back and just train for very few indoor meets. So it's a blessing. You know, I'm glad to be here. Great crowd. and just enjoying track and field.
You did not take it easy, however, when we saw you. You had control from the jump, and you carried it through. What was going through your mind the entire time? Was that part of your strategy?
Well, indoors, that's very important. You must get to the front, or you're running someone else's race. So I know I have a little more experience probably than other guys, because they don't do as many indoor meets. But so I knew that getting to the lead was going to be whoever got to the lead first will win the race.
Once again, congratulations, Larry. Let's go back up to you.
Thank you.
Milton Campbell also performed here in high school. Coming up, it'll be the women's 500 yards. Gerald Miles versus Suzanne Reed. 400 meters run in the world this year, and he did it in decisive fashion from the gun. Leonard Bird was second, and Danny McCray took third. The women's 500 is next, and to try and get a world record, you can't run a foolish pace, but you have to run a brave one. Diane Dixon, known as Dee Dee in her day, did it in 1986 on an 11-lap track. This is a more favorable track for Gerald Miles Clark to get a crack at this thing. They have to go out hard, however.
Yeah, Gerald Miles Clark told me just before the race that she will try to take the lead, but she knows this next lady will try and stop her from doing that.
Focused, intense is this woman. This is Suzanne Reed. And she has really run very well in America this year on an 11-lap track. She's run 51 and 96 100ths of a second so far this year. She said to us last night, I want to take the lead. Let's see if she can hold her off the strength of an 800-meter runner. The 800-meter runner I mentioned is Gerald Miles Clark, who is in lane 4 right there. She can watch and see what Suzanne chooses to do. They're going to run just over 2 full laps of this race.
And Larry, now they've gotten on the backstretch. They can break for the inside, and Gerald Miles Clark has taken the pole position. That was her strategy, and Suzanne Reed will have to relinquish that and tuck into second position.
I'm surprised. I really thought it would be Reed.
Me too.
Out there hard.
Now look at where Gerald Miles Clark is running on the lane. She's not giving up the inside or the outside to Suzanne Reed. Great strategy.
Unofficially 25 and 3/10 of a second for the first 200 meters of this 500-yard race.
An incredible difference in stride. Gerald Miles Clark with the long gaping strides, a half mile or a 400-meter runner. Suzanne Reed trying to keep up with the shorter steps, but she's not able to do it.
And it looks like it's going to be Gerald Miles Clark. She is running extraordinarily well. 20 meters to go. 10. Gerald Miles shatters the world best ever. Shatters it. Diane Dixon's record is toast.
Gerald Miles Clark is becoming one of the most prolific runners in American history. Owning the American record at 800, doing incredible things at 400. She won the 200 last week in Fayetteville, and now she comes to 4,400 feet in altitude and breaks the world record at 500 yards.
This woman is a former world indoor champion at 400 meters, and this is the start of really what was turning out to be something great. I mentioned the pace had to be strong and brave. It was Gerald Miles Clark that did it, not Suzanne Reed. This is the back stretch, about 150 meters into the race. They're coming into the second full turn.
And I have to go back to the long stride pattern. Look at the long gaping strides of Gerald Miles Clark. That is something that Suzanne Reed does not have. Gerald Miles Clark having the strength of the 800, the speed of the 400, but again, it's that long stride that allows her to chop up the ground and get herself to the tape first to break the world record.
The 1996 Olympic gold medalist in the 4x400 meter relay nails down an indoor world record. Let's go down to Stacy Pates, who is with Gerald Miles Clark.
Any record that has the name Diane Dixon in front of it is not an easy task to overcome, but you did it. You are a world record holder. Can you even put this into words?
I can't. I just came out here to run a good race for the crowd. I knew I had to get the lead in order to break it, so I got out and got the lead and just held on.
That last stretch, you just turned it on, where you had to dig deep and you just really found it. What was going through your mind?
That was all hard work. My coach, J.J. Clark, we've been training, getting into the mode, ready for the Olympic Games. I just thought about that and said, just go for it.
That is such incredible. Congratulations on your new record. Way to go.
Thank you.
Larry?
Gerald Miles Clark and Suzanne Reed both crack under Diane Dixon's record set in Inglewood, California in February of 1986. Bringing you this wonderful event. We just seen a world best ever achieved at 500 yards by Gerald Miles Clark. Men's 60 up. And in the race, Kareem Street Thompson and John Drummond, probably two guys that have an excellent chance to be finalists at 100 meters. And there you see John Drummond, all seriousness, now married with a child, now 30 years of age. He used to enjoy the humorous side of sports and the fun side. But he said, this is my year. I've got to focus. I've got to get even a little bit better.
And John told me this morning that every race on this Golden Spike Indoor Tour has been concentration on execution. Has a great start. That's not the issue. Working on the other phases of his race, and that's what he'll do right now.
Maurice Green is the world outdoor record holder. Drummond gets out in front of him race after race after race, and Green has to run him down from behind. This is Kareem Street Thompson, the 1995 NCAA long jump champion at Rice, and he's back in Houston training with his college coach at Rice now.
Kareem Street Thompson has also gone back to the Cayman Islands, which he represented in the 1992 Olympic Games. A great talent in the long jump and the dash.
Out in lane 4 will be Curtis Perry. Lane 5, Chris Williams from Jamaica. Lane 6 will be. And the stumble was Kareem Street. Look at John Drummond pull away. Drummond just really executes very well, as you said, Lewis. That focus, I think that's a quick time.
That's 2/100ths of a second off of his lifetime best, which was 6:46. John Drummond is more serious this year and more focused than I've ever seen him. He's been known in the past as the clown prince of track and field. He loves the interaction with the fans, as you see him do it now, but he's business before the pleasure after the race.
The times unofficially 6 and 4.48 seconds. And notice the stumble out of the blocks put Thompson out of it very quickly, and it was Drummond pulling away.
Well, John Drummond is just getting up now in his drive phase there, the last part of the race, and just powers through the tape, looking really relaxed. Of course, you'd expect him to have a great start, and you could see his head was just ahead of everybody else. Now as he's coming up, drifting just a little bit in the lane, but he looks relaxed and comfortable. No match for everybody else.
Unofficially the fastest time in the world. He's only 3/100ths of a second off it, and that's his training partner Maurice Green. The 2000 best is Green's, set at the Millrose Games, and 6:48. Boy, I'll tell you, Drummond is doing better.
Well, you know, he's been on the relays, he's won medals there, but he told me this year in 2000 that he wants to make the team as one of the 100-meter dash sprinters, and that's his goal, not just to be there on the relay.
Let's get down to Stacy Pace.
John Drummond, let's talk about when you're on the starting line, you are all about business. You are nothing but focus. Talk about that focus.
Well, today, you know, coming up here to the Simple Act Games was a little tedious for me. The travel and everything was a little rough getting in, the snow and all that. But when I got here to the stadium and I saw Joe break that world record, I just got pumped. I got juice, you know, fired up for the race, and I just zoned in and just said, you know what? It's a board track, but I'm going to make it real fast today.
Thank you so much. Congratulations, Larry.
And the women's 60-meter dash is next. There's the American records set by Gail and Marion Jones, and the indoor best of 7.01 seconds everyone's chasing. This woman, a winner in 2 out of 3 races, Lewis, this year.
That's right. Carlette Guidry took most of 99 off, said she needed to focus more on her health and her spiritual life. Now she's back, and she has won her first 2 races on the Golden Spike Tour.
Deep field. Next to her, a woman ranked number 7 in the world, Chandra Stirrup from the Bahamas, a graduate of Norfolk State.
And now Chandra Stirrup training with Marion Jones in North Carolina, known as one of the Golden Goddesses after winning that 4x100-meter race at the World Outdoor Track and Field Championships in Seville this past summer.
There is Guidry on her left, and that is on her right as you're looking down the track. That is Stirrup. On her left is Christy Gaines, also a gold medalist on the relay. It's a fair start. Stumbling out a little bit is Guidry. She didn't get a great start. It's Guidry holding on. It's Guidry by the slightest margins, and it looks like it's Gaines in second place, possibly Stirrup in third. Carlette Guidry continues to rule this indoor season, Lewis.
Guidry at age 31 is refinding the spark to run 60 meters and then on out to the 100 and the 200-meter outdoors. She's enjoying what's happening. She's had great success on the Golden Spike Tour, only losing last week, finishing second, but coming back here to altitude, as you mentioned before, asking the crowd to get into it, winning here in the Simplot Games.
You know, there you see them out of the blocks well, and there is in lane 2, that is Tori Edwards, ranked number 5 in the United States, with hip number 3 is Stirrup. And there there you see Guidry in the blue in the center in lane 4, using her arms well, powering through. You don't have to lean in this race. You run right through it. Why? Because at 60 meters, you're still gathering speed. And closing well is Christy Gaines. Gaines looking fit to try and make the Olympic team as well, as you're looking at 2 of America's best.
And Carlette Guidry coming right at you there to the tape was nicknamed Miss Turbo when she was at the University of Texas, and there you saw some of that turbo power as she takes the win.
She's had a great career going back now 15 years to when she was a high school star. Stacey Pates is down with Carlette Guidry.
You didn't get as great of a start as you had anticipated, but boy, did you pull it out in the end. How does this rank as far as other competitions?
Well, I had a great field to compete against with my teammates. We all go head-to-head in practice, so I'm pretty pleased with the win.
And how does the spirit of just this entire arena, how does it feel? You've got world records being broken all around you. As John said, it really pumped him up. Did it kind of do the same for you?
Correct. I wish I would have ran my race right after that world record was broken. I felt the agility from her. It was really exciting.
Great. Congratulations. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Carlette Guidry runs the fastest time by an American woman this indoor season anywhere in the world. Christy Gaines takes second, and it was Chandra Stirrup in third. In the Simplot Games high school competitions, the stars shone brightly in the men's and women's, boys and girls, if you will, 60-meter dashes. This is Jamaican-born Dwight Thomas, who attends Northwestern High School in Hyattsville, Maryland. And he won handily the 60 meters and the fastest time run by a high schooler this year. He is the 1999 Pan Am Junior, meaning 19 and under, 100 and 200-meter champion. We've had great 100-meter champions at the Olympics who are tiny women in the dashes. Evelyn Ashford comes to mind, as does Gail Devers. Could this be the next woman to watch? This is Alexis Joyce, a junior at Washington High School in Denver, Colorado. She won the girls 60 and was the bronze medalist at the Pan Am Juniors as a 16-year-old. Is this the new Gail Devers 5 years from now? This is Stacey Dragila. After already clearing 15 feet, the bar is now at 15 feet, 1.5 inches. She's been working on her speed the last couple of years, and it shows down the runway. Outstanding clearance, easily over the bar. A second world record is achieved here in Pocatello on her home facility tonight. Dragila thanks the crowd. On its feet, a standing ovation, 8,000 people strong. And her competitors come over to give her support as well. Speed down the runway. You maintain the speed right through the plant. The plant of the takeoff should be 1, and it makes a difference, as technically she has a superb effort. 5 feet 7, 3/4 of an inch, and 137 pounds of power. All that gymnastic training as a youngster, and she still does it to this day, makes a big difference in pole vaulting.
Going up. I got the dog so he's going to make sure he gets a photo of the 16.
We're just put the damn thing up there and see what happens.
Going to go up again?
Yeah.
17? Let's go to 16.
Her coach, Dave Nielsen, describes her as being aggressive and happy-go-lucky, and it certainly sounds it based on that comment. The bar is up at no man's land. I should really say no woman's land. No one has ever attempted, no female, 16 feet before. Third and final attempt. And not a bad attempt either. She even had a better attempt on her second. All three were very respectable. A brilliant, brilliant night here for Stacey Dragila. This is the only field event contested here tonight, but this woman is a very charismatic performer, and she, with her rhythmic applause, asking the crowd to get behind her, succeeded in doing so, and they helped carry her to heights never achieved before by a woman pole vaulter. She is the reigning world indoor and outdoor champion, and now the favorite for the gold medal in Sydney.
Now, we told you earlier this was the young lady you needed to keep your eye on all day. Stacey Dragila broke the world record twice. Oh, my goodness. Did it feel? Could it have happened in a better facility?
I don't think so. To be able to compete here and have my competitors come to my hometown and the crowd behind me, it's been a great thrill to do it here in my hometown.
And you were the first female to ever try an attempt at 16, and that's something you have really taken the sport to a whole new level.
You know, that's something that I really want to shoot for coming July and September. For, you know, I know I have to be jumping high, something like that, to win a gold medal, and no better place to start doing it except, you know, here in my hometown. So it's been a great treat to try for and have the crowd behind me.
All right, congratulations. You are so much fun to watch. Congratulations.
Dragila wins comfortably over Mel Miller and Kelly Suttle in the women's pole vault. It's been an outstanding track and field meet. For Lewis Johnson and Stacy Pates, I'm Larry Rawson, hoping you've enjoyed our coverage of the Golden Spike Invitational from Pocatello, Idaho. This has been a presentation of ESPN. For more, log on to ESPN.com, part of the Go Network, go.com.